Oh, I was so naive and foolish to redo this. Uh, it is such a drag. Hello, Catholic Controversy here, and in my 10-year anniversary video, I said I'm going to be redoing Catcher in the Rye. It's a topic that I did 10 years ago when I first started this, and I didn't do it justice. And now I want to do it justice, and oh man, this was a mistake. This is proving to be way harder than I expected it to be. Not because I'm actually thinking that's now good. It's because it is way worse than I remember it. This book, it is. I am about halfway through, and I am at the point where this book really should have ended. It should have ended halfway through after Holden has the hooker and he thinks about killing himself. That's really what this natural ending of this book should have been, because that is the natural ending for the tragedy. Because the tragedy is a story where you have a character that is a villain, is supposed to be hated, and then whose death is a happy one. That is what a tragedy is. And that's what Catcher in the Rye is. Holden Caulfield is an absolutely horrible person. I mean, the first 20% or so when he was at a Pensy Prep or whatever it was, when he had Ackley and Stradlater, it's like that part was like okay. It wasn't nearly as bad as I remember it, but it's like the reason that I don't remember that part and why it wasn't so bad is because that part was okay. I found myself really liking Ackley. I found myself really liking Stradlater. And I even found myself liking that teacher guy that has the gripe or whatever. Just because it's like everyone in that part is self-aware that Holden is a horrible person. The book is self-aware that it is bad. The book is self-aware that Holden Caulfield is an absolutely annoying, pathetic, insufferable little twerp who does not learn anything. And just, so much about this, just the rampant sexism. I mean, I'm not going to be like, oh, social justice, this is horrible. No, Holden is a rampant sexist. All he does when he talks about women is he talks about how attractive they are. He doesn't talk about anything else besides that. Or he just talks about how stupid they are. Like the girls at the bar where he's just like, oh man, they're kind of ugly and gross, but I think I'll go dance with them because they're women, and I want to be nice to the woman, my fedora to them. And it's just like all he does is just complain about them, and then like all he does is like Jane, who is obviously Jane has a whole lot of things going wrong with her family. Like I didn't realize this before, but Jane is like obviously being abused by her father or something, or like her dad is really abusive to her mom, or just a really bad home life. And all Holden does is complain about how the fact that Jane won't let him kiss him. Like, what is wrong with you? You're a horrible person. Like, you see the dad like verbally abusing Jane in front of you, and you're just like, "Hey Jane, how about a little sugar, huh?" And you're just like, "No, not right now, no." You're just like, "Oh come on, I just want a little kiss." It's just like, what? What is wrong with you? And then like when he gets the hooker, it's like that was actually a really good scene because what that does is that it was a great example of dramatic irony, where it's like Holden Caulfield is being subjected to the same kind of crap that he subjects women to on a daily basis or regular basis or whatever. It's just like it was a really good example of dramatic irony, but we never talked about that in class because it's like, oh, I mean, I guess this is talking about like how Holden is like, he thinks that he's ready for sex, but he's not really ready for sex. No! That's an example of irony where it's like Holden realizes that, oh, hey, how I'm treating women is not really that good because this is what it feels like when I'm treating them that way. But no, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about like the actual literary thing that happens there. We're just like, oh, do you feel sorry for Holden in this situation? Because I mean, he kind of understands. He's very confused because he thinks he wants sex, but in reality, he doesn't. He's just not ready for it. He's very confused. And it's just like, no, Holden's an idiot. He's a freaking idiot, and he's a sexist idiot who is now when he actually gets some of that sexism pushed onto him. People are just objectifying him and thinking of him as just like a sex thing where he's just gonna get paid for the one throw or whatever. Just like, that's exactly how Holden treats all the girls that he has been with before. And like with Sally Yates or whatever her name is, where he like calls up and all he does is just like complain about her, and then he's just like, "But hey, at least she's hot." And it's just like, what? That is not that is. Ugh. And then just like this book is so horribly, horribly, horribly written. It's the sentence structure, the ramblings, the unnecessary details, the things that absolutely mean nothing. Like he talks about, it's crazy because like in the first part of the book, he does like the composition about Allie's baseball mitt, and someone like the kid that he does it for is just like, this means absolutely nothing. This has nothing to do with anything. It's just like, bingo, bingo, bingo. That's this entire book. Everything has nothing to do with nothing. And it's just, is so infuriating. And just like the actual physical sentence structure, where he just is like, he does fragments and run ons. And it's just like, if I were to turn this in for a paper, I would get an F. This is horrible, horrible writing. And it's like, to tell students that this is good writing, it's like, no wonder our education system's so screwed up, because we're told that this horrible sentence structure that is not even a complete sentence most of the time is good writing. It's no wonder that students don't know how to form a sentence, because you're constantly beating them over the head saying, this is good writing, this is good writing, this is good writing. And then when students actually try to replicate it, you're just like, F, F, what is wrong with you? Don't you know how to write a sentence? You're not giving us examples of how to write a sentence. You're telling us that this non-sentence is a good writing. It's like, it's no wonder. This book is, and then just like people saying like, Holden Caulfield, he understands me. It's just like, the book is telling you that Holden is a horrible person. He's telling you that he needs help. And people like Holden need help. He's in a rest home, for crying out loud. This entire story is just like him recounting and recanting and telling random things from an insane asylum. He's not a profound individual. He is a crazy lunatic. And it knows that because they put him in the asylum. If he was just like telling one of his boys about this, that'd be different. But it's like, no, he is in an asylum because his life is so screwed up. He is such a screwed up individual. It's like, that's what you're saying relates to you? That you are on the same level as a screwed up insane asylum patient? And then just like with Phoebe, I the whole thing about Phoebe just really, really infuriates me, because I am convinced that Holden Caulfield is a pedophile. You can't convince me otherwise. Holden Caulfield talks about his sister in the same way that he talks about the girls that he is hot on, in the same exact way, in the same exact phrase, in the same exact sentence, in the same exact breath. And it's just like, you can't tell me otherwise. You can't tell me, oh, he just likes his sister. When he's talking about these girls that he has like crushes on and that he almost gets somewhere with, he gets to maybe first base or whatever, might even get to second or third, and he always wants to go home, but he doesn't. And it's just like, but then when he talks about his sister in kind of like the same way, just not being explicit, it's just like, I don't know how you can read anything else from that. Especially when you're reading in nonsense about like the hunting hat and where the ducks go. It's just like, he so far he's mentioned like the ducks twice, and that's it. And all it does is just him just trying to make conversation because he doesn't know any better. And then like with the red hunting hat, all he does is he wears it when it's cold and he takes it off when it's hot. I have hunting hats like that, and guess what? It gets very cold in New York in the wintertime. So it makes sense to wear a red hunting hat, a really warm hunting hat, when it is cold out. And when he like goes inside, it's like, oh, I take off my red hunting hat when I'm inside. It's like, oh, what does that mean? It means that's warm in there. I mean, he wears it in the cab, but you know what? Chances are the cab was pretty cold because it's outside, and I don't know, New York crabs in the 50s probably didn't have heat. So it's just like, what are you trying to tell me there? You can't tell me that there's something there, but then when he's talking about Phoebe, there's something not. And it's just like, there's so much wrong with this book, and it's so hard for me to just get beyond this natural end, because really it should have ended with Holden saying like, and here I am standing at the end of this ledge, ready to take my crazy life. Got that bastard, what's his name, the pimp guy, to cover me up when I take this life because it's like ready to leave behind all these phonies. So I take a deep breath and I jump. And then that's it. That would have been the perfect ending for this book. But nope, it's not. I still got another half of this crap bullshit to deal with. And it's just like, pardon my profanity, but just that's how this book makes me feel. It's so bad. I can't believe that this is what's considered good classic American literature because it's not. That's the simple truth of this. Is this is not. And Holden Caulfield understands me. Holden Caulfield needs to grow up. Plain and simple. Holden Caulfield needs to grow up. And if you think that Holden Caulfield represents you and understands you, you need to grow up too. Because that's the truth of the matter. This has been Catholic Controversy, signing off. And I'll see you next time. Hopefully I'm not as riled up, and hopefully I'm actually finishing this thing, because it's just like, the first sentence is wrong. It says, if you really want to know, I guess you probably want to hear all this other crap. But I'm not going to bore you with that. Just like, that's not how you open up things. When we're talking in English class where we had to like write a good opening hook that really draws you in, it's like, why aren't my students writing amazing hooks? I don't get it. Duh. It's like, that's what you're giving us. You're giving us crap where it's just like, I don't know why you'd want to hear my story, but I guess if you do, it's self-fulfilling prophecy. That's the simple of it. I can't stand this book. It's horrible. It is an assault on English class and the entire concept of English literature. And I'm convinced that the reason that J.D. Salinger went into his like hermit life is because people were thinking that this book was good, and he knew that it wasn't. And he didn't have the heart to tell them that this was a piece of crap. All right, well, this has been Catholiccontriversy, signing off. May God bless you.